FRIGE as an institution started 30 years ago, way back in 1994, when genetics was not well known in any part of medical community. Started by Dr. Jayesh and Dr. Frenny out of their dining table at their home back then. FRIGE stands for Foundation for Research in Genetics and Endocrinology. And the logic was very simple. You wanted to understand why certain diseases occur consistently within a particular community. In fact, the very first case that came through our clinic was of a Down syndrome. And it was at that moment we realized that we could actually prevent Down syndrome coming in the next pregnancy. And that was the beauty of genetics. You didn't have to wait for the clinical symptoms to occur. You could actually predict what could happen. And that was the power of genetics. And in 1997, we in fact were part of the Human Genome Project, very briefly, albeit, and we managed to clone the gene that is related with a skin disease in a family that is based in Modasa. It's a very small village in northern Gujarat. And together with University of Geneva, we identified the gene, and that disease was later called as Clownston syndrome. So we have a very proud history of that. And over the past 20 years, we expanded very rapidly from cytogenetics, a traditional genetic technology from the 50s, and moved on to molecular genetics. So your PCRs, your qPCRs, and now we have moved on to sequencing and very heavy data analytics, right? Because the world of genetics, as we thought, would end up being data-driven at some point, and that world has arrived now. So in the past 5 years, the Institute has also expanded its breadth, not only in rare diseases like lysosomal storage disorders, but also neurodevelopmental disorders like autism. We also work on hereditary cancer syndromes, especially Lynch syndrome. We hold pan-India expertise for it. And the biggest strength that the Institute has is that it develops its own kits. We do not buy things off the shelf. Every single test that we work on is developed in-house, is thoroughly validated, including the data analysis pipeline. We do not take anything from outside. We even develop our own computing servers. And that has been our entire history. And the next foray that we see is going from a vagabond team of 20, 25 people rushing here and there to making things more streamlined. And this is where we see ourselves partnering with companies like Cambrian Bioworks, whereby no matter what type of sample it is, there is a standardized protocol of extracting DNA, especially in the world of molecular genetics. This has been the bottleneck for the past 10 years. And we are so happy that this is a company that has developed an instrument in India, for India, and by Indians themselves. A beautiful piece of equipment, thoughtfully engineered, and very systematically and rigorously tested to ensure that you get highest quality DNA from the get-go. And a huge chunk of our work that is both from peripheral blood as well as down the line, our prenatal work will shift towards DNA extraction system developed by Cambrian Bioworks. And all the DNA that we get, we use it for your standard endpoint PCRs, going all the way up to microarray, to sequencing, as well as Oxford nanopore based long read whole genome sequencing. So it will be a wonderful way of utilizing a single point of DNA extraction that has multitude of applications down the line.